everyone, and welcome to Lattes on My Mind. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Felina.
What are we going to be talking about this fine day, Felina?
This fine day, we're going to be talking about the infamous Jersey Devil.
Oh, gosh.
So grab your lattes and join us for the journey.
He said, oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
It's like goofy.
That's okay. How the heck have you been, Hannah?
Oh, I've been fine, but my dog has been to the vet endlessly. Again, you probably guys are getting tired of hearing this, but...
Just good old Sky going to the vet.
It's like her daily routine now. It's like ready to go to the vet every weekend.
Okay, Mom got home.
Right. Ready to go to the vet.
Yeah.
But I'm fine, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good.
Just good.
I'm groovy.
This week it's fine.
Nothing eventful happened to us
Not
this week,
really.
really.
It was just the same old, same old.
No William Shatners were met.
Yeah. No actors. No, nothing.
Nothing. It was just a week.
Yeah. I mean, also my other dog, Keanu, since it's spooky season, we've made up this joke because recently, whenever we take him outside and we go on the pavement, like there's certain parts we'll get like halfway through the pavement and all of a sudden he starts going like scraping his claws like he wants to get off the pavement.
Is he scraping his claws like he wants to get off, or is he scraping his claws like
he's scrambling,
filing them down?
No, he's scrambling. Like he'll start
No.
being like, oh, like acting scared, and we're like, what is going on?
Maybe it's cold.
Well, we thought like, okay, maybe it's heat, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, because it's been going on for a little while, and it's not, because he'll do it at night randomly too, because it's like not like the pavement, because I'm like, was it hot? And it's like at random spots. That's not all the pavement, and he's never had an issue with it. And we've discovered, because like consistently, it's whenever we get near a storm drain, like in the pavement, like he'll see it, like on the curb. And so Wes has been like, oh, he's just scared of it. So that's been our thing. Like
he just don't like Pennywise.
He's like, Daddy's down there. He's down there.
Did he watch It the Clown?
No,
recently.
We just thought it was funny. We're like,
That's
what
hilarious.
is it? Because
maybe he hears that it's like hollow right there,
and he's like,
and he doesn't like that. Like maybe he can like hear the difference in the pavement.
Because he'll be totally fine. And so we kept being like, what is it? Because like we couldn't put 2 and 2 together at first. Or 1 and 1 together. I don't know.
Yeah, but then it's literally just because it's a sewer drain.
Yeah.
That's
like he
so
sees
cute.
it in the curb or something, and he's like...
He's so scared.
We're like, Pennywise is out there looking at it.
Poor buddy.
So that's been... Yeah, my dogs have been acting funny lately, but that's about it.
You know who else acts funny? The Jersey Devil.
Who is he? Who is the Jersey Devil?
He actually doesn't act funny.
Oh.
He's kind of scary, but...
Well, we try.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
The Jersey Devil.
So, Hannah, what do you know of the Jersey Devil?
I know what he looks like.
You know, you've seen the drawings?
I've seen the drawings, because I was trying to explain it to you the other day. And I said, it's like a horse head with like a foot or something like that.
With a foot.
It's like, and I said, and wings, because it's like, got the 2 legs. I don't want to give it away if you're going to explain it, but.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But it looks like it has chicken legs almost. It's like going down.
Chicken legs.
Or dragon legs? I don't know.
Okay, well, we're going to get into the description of it here in a second.
That's all I know about it, though. I don't know.
Anything else?
I think it's in the U.S., right?
It's in New Jersey.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Jersey Devil. Well, there's a Jersey in England, too. Why do you think it's called New Jersey?
It's in New Jersey.
Okay. Not Old Jersey.
So he's a legendary creature, a folklore creature, and he lives in the Pine Barrens.
Where's that? Just kidding.
In southern New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Which, the Pine Barrens, a lot of people will be like, well, but he lives in the Pine Barrens. Why is he jumping all over the place? Why is he here and then he's there and then he's there?
He has wings, right?
Well, yeah, he has wings, but also the Pine Barrens stretch over 1.1 million acres.
Oh, wow.
So it's like...
In 2 different states?
The Pine Barrens is a pretty large area to live in, you know? So it's
Is it like a national forest?
I don't think
it's just considered like
no,
just
I don't think it's a national forest. I think it because it's kind of like marshland.
Oh, okay. So it's like the Everglades or something like that?
Kind of like that, yeah. So it's like the marshes. He's basically living in the marshes. So it's also called Pinelands I guess
Pinelands,
it's
okay.
referred to as Pinelands. So he lives there during the day, and then the story goes that he comes out at night and he is like prowling
Okay.
through the marshes, but also
Right.
he prowls through like the cities and the towns around the area, and he's terrorizing the residents.
Okay, so he hurts people.
No.
Oh. What does he do?
Isn't that so interesting?
Yeah.
Isn't that I was reading
Well,
all
it's
of this
just like
stuff.
Mothman. He didn't do anything.
Yeah,
to
I was
people.
reading all of this stuff and all of these encounters and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then it's like, and then he flew away. And then he flew away. And then he just flew away.
Well,
And
that's
I'm
what
like,
it, yeah.
Okay, all right. But he terrorizes them because one, his just the description of him,
Mm-hmm.
if you see that walking alone, that's kind of terrifying. But
Right.
then also he's kind of like goes after animals, I guess, supposedly. But
Okay. So they found dead animals. Yeah. Okay. Which is any kind of predatory animal, right? Like
Right.
eating an
and
animal.
we'll get into that. Yeah. So he's also reported in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So he's in the Philly area as well, supposedly. But he is described as a creature with a horse's head or dog's head or a head with deer antlers.
Okay, so it kind of got the horse head right.
Yes, yes. He has bat-like wings.
Okay.
A forked tail / devil's tail / pointed tail.
That's why they call it. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's not. We'll get into it. Sort of. He has long legs with hooves or cloven feet.
Okay, so
Cloven
like
feet?
the pig?
Kind-
like
yeah.
where they're split in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has an elongated body. It's often described as a kangaroo-like body.
Right. That's why I just kept thinking it was so long.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he has glowing red eyes, horns, which could be the deer antlers. But he's also known for like small arms. So he's
Like a
walking like,
T-Rex.
yeah, like kind of like a T-Rex or a kangaroo.
Oh, yeah, I guess
You
so.
know,
Yeah.
like, so he's got the small arms, but his hands are basically just claws. And they're like razor sharp talons.
Like
basically.
a raptor or like
Kinda.
Kinda?
Yeah, like a raptor.
So this is its own thing. Like this doesn't sound like just any animal. You know, like mistaking it as like
Right,
an
you can't just
owl or,
mistake
like,
it.
you know,
yeah,
like a
you can't mistake a
Mothman.
horse for this. You know,
Yeah,
like
because it's literally
because
just
it's
like
standing on its hind
standing on
legs.
it, okay.
There was one lady who
Or a deer.
described it as like it looked literally like a horse walking on its hind legs. Yeah. Some people say that it's 6 feet tall. Some people say it's more like 3 to 4 feet tall.
What?
I think that depends on how closely you're seeing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it like if you're seeing it in your car and you're sitting down, yeah, it's gonna look a little taller.
Yeah.
If it's like right up on you, you know, like
They said that in the Mothman one too. Like people don't accurately guess height when it's like
well,
night
and it's nighttime. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I was hearing about, it was literally they saw him across the marsh, and so it's like you can't
You
tell.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like he's 3 to 4 feet right now, but if you get closer to him,
Yeah.
he might be 6 feet. Or you
Now,
know,
if you went out there and you like measured where it was standing, like with a tree, like because they've done that for like Bigfoot and stuff,
Right.
Then maybe. But if you're just like looking at it across a marsh, you're not. If I saw you across a marsh, I had no idea what height you were.
right, I would be
I
like,
could be like,
I
she's
don't even
3 feet
know.
tall, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I'm bad at heights though.
Yeah, I am too. I'm not the best. If anybody ever asked me, how tall would you think he is? I would have to like
Yeah.
measure with my hand based off of my own height and be
Right.
like, he came up to like right about here, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so he's characterized with having an ear-piercing scream,
Oh, awesome.
a quote grotesque appearance, and he is known to raid people's chicken coops or farms
Okay.
and destroy the crops and kill the animals.
Okay.
So that
So they see
is
him
the terrorizing part.
doing this. Or they just say, oh, I saw him and he was the one that did this.
I couldn't find anyone being like, I saw him terrorizing this.
Okay.
But I have found, I saw some things about people being like, oh, well, I saw him in the area and then the next day this happened to
This
my animals
happened.
and this has
Okay.
never happened before.
Right.
You know, like,
Yeah.
or, oh,
Correlate it,
so-and-so saw
whatever.
him in the area and then all of a sudden this is happening
This
to
was
my
dead. Okay,
animals.
okay.
Yeah. So that's just the descriptor.
Kind of what he is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's prominently known as the Jersey Devil,
Perfect.
but he is also known as, and before even the Jersey Devil, he was known as the Leeds Devil.
The Leeds. Is that the town?
No.
Oh, okay.
There is it. there is a family. They are the Leeds family. Oh. And they go way back. Way back, and we're gonna get into it. But there's also like, because this family was so prominent in this town, there's like Leeds Point, which is where the Leeds like lived, which is where it's believed that the Jersey Devil was birthed.
Oh, so they were doing some witchcraft.
No, they weren't.
Oh no.
Although some people claim that Mother Leeds was a witch.
Ooh.
She actually was a devout Quaker turned Episcopalian.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So she was just different and religious. So they're like, she's a witch.
No.
Okay, man, I'm guessing
you're just
all things wrong. Yeah, all wrong today.
Okay, so what happened was...
Okay.
The Leeds family, they were all over the area.
Okay.
And like they even still are. With some of the mayors of the town were Leeds. One of the historians of the town currently is married to a Leeds.
Oh, okay.
Like
married to. Oh.
Yeah, like he was saying like, yeah, the Leeds are here. This person was Leeds. This person was Leeds. And well, I'm married to a Leeds. So like they're still,
the last thing he mentions.
It's like they're prominent
right.
in the area. They're known as the Leeds family. Okay. But when they first started settling, they were kind of called, like, quote, monsters.
Monsters?
Not because of, like, their appearance, but
it's kind of rude.
Because Daniel Leeds, who's, like, the head grandfather person.
The what is it? The patriarch?
Yeah, the patriarch, yes. Daniel Leeds was a religious rival, religious and sort of political rival of Benjamin Franklin.
Oh my goodness.
Our one Benny boy.
Benjamin Franklin, huh?
Yes. So what happened was Daniel was a part of the Quaker meeting in the area, but he published the American Almanac. And that kind of pissed the Quakers off because they were like, listen, there's offensive language in here. Oh. It was talking about astrology and like new ideas, basically. So they were like, it's offensive language and there's pagan illustrations.
Okay.
And so...
Because wasn't Benjamin Franklin like a theist or like an agnostic? He wasn't actually like a Christian.
Yeah.
Technically or something like that. So the Quakers were like...
Yeah. So he was like his rival, but then he started posting the American Almanac, and that they were like, no.
Yeah, because
you can't do this. As a Quaker, you can't do this. Which Quakers are basically like Christians. I mean, like not really, but
yeah, I think they're more like old-fashioned.
They are old-fashioned, but they were like some of the first to be like, you can talk to God and you don't need a priest to do it.
That's nice, though.
They were like, you can have a relationship with God.
A personal relationship.
Aside from your priest, you know, like you don't have to go through your priest.
Right.
And I read also that they were like, because I was a little confused at first. Yeah. Because I read also that they were like some of the first like women's rights activists were Quakers. Okay. You know, so I was like, oh, okay, cool. Way to go, Quakers. In this instance, not so cool. He was just posting an almanac about ideas and like, astrology and stuff like that. Okay, cool. He wanted to study the stars.
It was like the crops and stuff too, wasn't it? Like things like that, like figuring out the weather or something like that.
Yeah. And so apparently that's pagan, but
right.
He went to the next meeting and he apologized profusely. He was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. And
Benjamin did.
No, Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Who posted this.
Okay.
Daniel Leeds.
Okay.
And so then he was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend anybody. You know, he was a devout Quaker. He was just,
standing up for his beliefs.
Yeah. And then the other people of the meeting were like, cool, that's fine. Don't do it again. And we need to destroy every copy of this almanac. We need to destroy it. It needs to be burned. Yeah, of Daniel Leeds' almanac. Because his was like going against what the Quakers were believing at the time.
Oh, so Daniel Leeds went against what the Quakers were saying.
Mm-hmm. As a Quaker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't even going against. It was just like introducing new ideas that the Quakers were like, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I see. I got confused between him and Benjamin's.
No.
Almanac or whatever.
The political rivalry with Benjamin Franklin comes in with he continued to post this almanac and he stepped away from the meeting. The Quaker meetings. And so he just continued to post it. And then he became buddy with one of the like governors from England in the area. Ooh. And that was like the political rival of Benjamin Franklin at the time. And so it was like, okay. So he was kind of like already a no-no.
Right.
So he continued posting this, and then he began putting the Leeds family crest on each publishing of the almanac.
Uh-oh.
And the Leeds family crest includes a dragon.
Okay.
So it's already like, that's a little weird.
Interesting.
So the Quakers, they didn't want the Leeds around. They were like, this idiot over here,
Right.
like, he's screwing everything up. He's poisoning the minds of everybody coming over here with all these new ideas when they're supposed to be coming over and we're supposed to be converting them. So they were basically trying to push the Leeds family
Like,
out of
shun
the
them.
area. They were like, go away,
Okay.
get out of here.
You're giving us a bad name.
Right. They stood their ground, though. They stayed. Basically, like,
awesome.
they're still there,
Okay.
obviously. So it's like they're still
Yeah.
there. But they started to, like, anytime anything weird would happen, they would, like, start a little rumor. Or
it was
they
the
didn't want them to have an easy go of it. You know,
Right.
they were trying to push them out. So they were just trying to do anything they could
Right.
to
Get
hurt
rid of them.
So, when in 1735, Mother Leeds had a 13th child
Uh-oh.
that she did not want
Uh-oh.
and cursed that child,
Oh, no.
they ran with it. So we're going to get into that.
It's also the 13th child.
13th child. I know. There is some speculation as to who Mother Leeds is.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
They don't know who she is?
So a lot of, like, when you first look at it, it'll be like, Mary Leeds is Mother Leeds.
Oh, my gosh.
Mary Leeds was the first daughter of Deborah and Japhet. Japhet. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Japhet?
I think it's Japhet. I looked it up and I remember there's being a
okay.
U.
Yeah. Japhet.
Japhet Leeds. And Japhet is Daniel's son.
Sounds like a peanut butter brand.
Like Jif.
Yeah. I don't know.
It does kind of sound like a peanut butter.
With a peanut in the end.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It does.
Make peanut butter, guys.
Yeah, do that. So, okay,
Sorry.
this is going to get confusing. Okay,
Okay.
so there's Daniel Leeds. Daniel Leeds had like multiple different wives. One of them was
Uh-oh.
Jane. Oh, they died.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was like, what?
No. Not like that. They died.
Okay.
They died beforehand. And then, yeah.
Okay.
Like, whether it's in childbirth or from
Right.
illness or whatever.
People, yeah.
One of them was named Jane.
Jane. Okay.
And it's believed that Jane could be Mother Leeds, but Daniel Leeds didn't have 13 children.
Okay.
And the story is that the Jersey Devil was the unwanted 13th child
Right.
of Mother Leeds.
Right.
So that's really not that probable. But even the town is like, yeah, Jane Leeds was Mother Leeds. And it's like,
Because I feel like if you've had multiple wives, like, because it's
he
specifically
only had
the mother.
He only had 9 children.
Yeah, and like one of those women is not going to have 13 children if they've all died. You know what I mean? If they've died, like that's how.
Yeah, he had like three or 4 different wives. So it's like, okay, I don't think it's Jane.
Yeah.
Even like the people were
We're ruling
like,
Jane out.
yeah, even like the town now is like,
Says
yeah,
it?
it was Jane Leeds, his Mother Leeds. I was like, no, it's not. Jane Leeds only had like 3 children.
Right.
And then she died. Like, it couldn't
Right.
be her. Anyways. So it'll say it's Mary, okay, this is getting confusing. Daniel and Jane.
Right.
Boom. Daniel had a child, Japhet, who married Deborah. They had 13 children. 1 was stillborn or deformed. And that was the 13th child.
Okay.
So they had 13 children.
So why don't they just say it's her? It seems like it would be. Also, the child's deformed.
Some people do say it is.
Okay.
A lot of people, when you first look it up, will say Mary Leeds is Mother Leeds. Mary Leeds is the firstborn daughter of Deborah and Japhet.
Oh, okay. So then she also went on to have 13 children.
No.
Oh,
So we're going to get into all the theories.
I keep guessing
So you
wrong.
just got to hold on with me. Okay, so regardless, the Jersey Devil was born in 1735.
1735.
And for me, I'm going to say it was to Deborah
has
because
a
she makes the
birthday?
most sense. And Jane doesn't make sense. Mary, we're going to get into in a second.
Okay.
So, as I said before, they were devout Quakers that had converted to Episcopalian. A lot of people say, oh, Mother Leeds was a witch, and that's why their baby was born the devil. And it's,
Right.
no, she actually wasn't. She wasn't. She just cursed him. She already had 12 children. Then there was a 13th child on the way, and she's exhausted. She's tired.
You don't want to have that.
She doesn't want a 13th child.
Right.
So before the birth of the child, Mother Leeds, whoever she may be, said, let it be the devil's.
Oh.
And like as if to imply that she, after it's born, she wants the devil to take it because she doesn't want it.
Oh.
So take the kid off her hands.
Right.
Where my thought process is, where it would make sense that Mary would be the mother of the baby, but not Mother Leeds.
Right.
Is Mary was born in 1704.
Okay. And it was born.
And the Jersey Devil was born in 1735.
Okay.
She was still, however, Mary Leeds, so she was unmarried in 1735. So where it would make sense for me...
Whoa, she would be like 31, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
Oh, that's old for then.
So what would make sense to me is Mary got preggo, she got knocked up,
out of wedlock.
And they were going to raise the child as their own, and that would make sense why Mother Leeds would say, let it be the devil's, because she had him out of wedlock.
Yeah.
So that's where this would make sense for Mary to come in, to me.
Right.
Because that happened a lot. Like,
that's why they would say that,
the young daughter
too.
would get pregnant, even though she wasn't really young. But, like, if the daughter would get pregnant out of wedlock, they would raise it as their child. They would be siblings, even though it was her mom. Mm-hmm. That's where it would make sense.
It makes sense to me why she would curse it, too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they did have lots of kids back then, too, and you would think, like, that was her.
It was a big family. Yeah. So that's my theory on if it is Mary. If it's Deborah, she's exhausted. She just cursed it, And also her oldest daughter is 31 years old. So,
and you're still having babies.
And she's still having babies. But it tracks, too, that it would be 1735 because they had another daughter before this one. The 12th child was a girl, and it was like 1720 something that she had her. So she was still having kids. Yeah. So it makes sense, like.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So the story goes also that it was born a beautiful baby boy.
Okay.
It had blonde hair, blue eyes. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And then all of a sudden, this baby sprouted wings and hooves and a tail. And it also was known to have a thirst and hunger for animal blood. I don't know how
would they have known that?
I don't know how they knew that, because the story goes like it sprouted these wings and then it flew up and it flew into the next room after it was born.
Immediately?
Like, it was born and it was a beautiful baby, and then it boom. Sprouted.
Damon. Boom, Damon.
It's the devil. Little babies are the devil. I'm kidding. That's okay. Anyways, so it flew into the next room. It killed its father. It killed its siblings. It killed the what are they? The handmaidens? The people who help deliver the babies? It killed them, and it killed but not all of the siblings, just some of the siblings. And then it killed the mother, and then it flew up into the chimney and it disappeared.
Okay, but did all those people actually die?
I have no idea.
In that time? Because they would have known that, right?
Right.
Not all the siblings died.
I know that there was, like, some of the siblings did die.
Well,
it's on record that they did die.
But, like,
I don't know how they died.
You know?
I didn't know that much. I don't know.
So who was there to tell this? Like, who was the
some
one?
Of the, like some of the siblings, I guess.
Okay.
The handmaids, whatever that called. Made it out, but it went on a rampage and then it flew up the chimney and it disappeared.
Okay, cool.
And I guess it
was ready to go.
Well, I guess that then animals started, like, being killed, and that's whenever they were like, it has a thirst for animal blood.
Okay.
It's like, okay.
Okay.
All right. Some people, now that's the most prominent story. Some people do say that the baby was born, and as it grew, once it was a little kid, like a little toddler.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
No, once it was like a toddler, then it transformed and then flew off and ran away. But
it just immediately said, I'm here. And then
the most prominent story is that it was a beautiful baby boy. It was, like they were like, oh, it's so cute. And then all of a sudden, boom, it like turn. So when she said, let it be the devil, she cursed the baby.
Right. Okay.
Is what it's saying.
Okay.
So.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah. There have been many sightings throughout the years.
Many?
Like hundreds of thousands. Like there's so many sightings. Everybody claims to have seen the Jersey Devil.
I didn't know that so many people had seen it.
All the kids in the town that like where this was, when they're growing up, they hear the story of the Jersey Devil and they're like, oh, you know, like there's the Jersey Devil. And then there's like people who have lived there like their whole life. I'm boring, Hannah.
No, you're not. Sorry,
I'm boring her.
Now I'm doing a yawn. You did that 2 weeks in a row, so I don't want to hear it.
But there's like people who live there their whole lives who like haven't seen it, but oh, my grandma saw it and she's a devout Catholic and she's never told a lie in her life, and like she saw it. She swears she saw it. And
this is like near the woods.
Like the marshes,
yeah. You can see anything in the marshes.
Yeah. I mean,
like you'll see something at night like glowing. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, and the red eyes too.
Yeah. Oh, so it also has red eyes.
Yeah, it has red eyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's an owl. Just kidding.
Spoiler alert. No, but like I was saying before, the story is always they see it and then it flies away.
Right.
Like it never actually has harmed a human.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, why is everybody so scared of it?
Well, I mean, it would be freaky, I guess, no matter what.
Yeah, but it's like, it's only harming livestock. And it's like, okay, well, that could be anything. Really?
Well, right. Yeah. It could be any coyotes or anything like that.
Yeah. So we're going to get into 1909.
Oh, a jump.
There was, a big jump.
Jump forward.
There was a week that everybody saw the Jersey Devil. Everyone was seeing this thing. Okay. I mean, it was in this town, then it was in this town, then it was in that town. It was all over southern New Jersey. Oh. It was on rooftops. It was in roads. It was in trees. It was people
rooftops.
Saw it. Yeah, people saw it walking by trolley cars, like, and everyone on the trolley car saw it and had like the same account of it. And
were they saying it at the same time? Like, bro, did you see that? Did you see that? Like, on the trolley cart.
Yeah, and then when like the reports, they'd be like, yeah, I saw this, and then they'd interview someone else separately from the same trolley car and they say, I saw this, and it'd be the same exact thing.
During the night or daytime?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. So even like it got so big that the Philadelphia Zoo offered a $10,000 bounty for anyone who could catch the Jersey Devil, because they wanted the Jersey Devil to be able to research.
Yeah.
And maybe like display.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's the zoo, you know? Right. So they're like, oh, uncharted animal, let me have it. Like, let's chart this animal, let's see what it is.
Let's figure it out.
Let's discover a new species, because it's been 200 years and it's still around,
but it's not an animal, it's a cursed bebe.
It is a wee bebe that has been cursed.
That is no longer a baby, I guess,
but it's like 200 years old. So it's like that's a little weird,
right?
Obviously no one was able to successfully capture this creature.
Right.
So nobody got the $10,000 reward.
Bummer.
But everyone was seeing it.
Well, who would want to catch it if they didn't know what they were doing? Like, I don't.
Well, but I mean, you also have to think at this point, like nobody had been harmed.
Yeah.
By this thing. So they don't know what it is. It's not harming anybody. It's showing up everywhere. Everybody can see it. Well, yeah, but like if you have like tranquilizers and you hit it with a tranquilizer, people have shot at it. That's another thing. Multiple people have seen it multiple times. So like there will be people who will, we'll talk about this one guy in a little bit, but he's seen it like at the time that he was doing this documentary, he had seen it 5 times, but he had never seen its face. It had always been walking away from it. And then one time he like, he had devoted his life to like the Jersey Devil, basically. Like he was like, I'm gonna find it, I'm gonna share stories, I'm gonna spread the word about it. At one point he had been like looking for it and whatever, and then he went back to his house, and then all of a sudden there was knocking on the cellar door, and he believed it was the Jersey Devil, because whenever he opened the door after the knocking stopped, he saw it walking away. So it basically like stalked him. Okay. To be like, leave me alone. I was like, maybe
he didn't try to harm it.
Maybe he just knew that you were looking for him, and he was like, "Hey, what do you want to know, bro?
You home?
Like, I'm here."
But he wasn't. He didn't like shoot at it or anything, right?
He had shot at it.
Oh, okay. So
yeah. Again, the story is, it unfurls its wings and it flies away.
And they see it fly away. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yep. That's where it's a little weird to me, because if they're saying it like looks like a horse like animal and then it flies, you're kind of like, what is that?
Granted, that's like if you're far away and it's the nighttime, which
Right.
sometimes people have seen it in the daytime too. So,
Right.
like just kind of wandering, doing its own little thing. But if it's the nighttime and you're, already kind of like spooked because you're looking for it, and then you see something fly away, but it's in the distance and it's dark and there's not really that much light out, then it's like, okay, well, maybe it wasn't the Jersey Devil. Maybe it was something else.
I guess the only thing I could think of would be like a crane, like, like the big bird that's like long and thin, but like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have a horse head
No.
or horns.
Nope.
So like, because that's the only thing I can think of that would fly, that would be like long like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because it's not like an owl. Because it's like, that's stocky and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's too short. But we're going to get into some of the up close encounters. And sorry, I just had to make sure I had a picture ready for you.
Oh my gosh, you're going to show me something?
Yeah, in a little bit. We'll come back to it.
Okay.
So there was an up close encounter. Her name was Jerry Plumeri, and I love
What?
that. How iconic is that?
Jerry Plumeri?
Jerry Plumeri, she's spunky. She's from Jersey.
And her name is Jerry Plumeri.
Jerry Plumeri. I said, how iconic. She saw the devil.
She saw the devil.
She saw the devil. She saw the Jersey Devil. Sorry.
Okay.
I put devil in my notes because it was easier than Jersey Devil every time, She saw him on the road, face to face, came face to face with him. She said her first thought was that she was going crazy. She said, I'm going crazy.
Right.
I'm having a mental breakdown. Like before, she was in the car with someone, and I can't remember who she was in the car with, but she was in the car with someone and they both saw him. But she was like, oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. I'm having a mental breakdown. Like what is going on? And then as they were driving on the road. And it like came down right in front of them.
And they saw it.
And she was like, oh, thank God it was farther away, because otherwise we would have hit it. We would have ran into it. Like we would have hit it if it didn't land that far away. So she said at first she was like just grateful. She thought it was like an animal.
Right.
Like, oh, thank you, we didn't hit it. And then she saw it and she was like, oh my gosh, I'm hallucinating. I'm going
right. What
crazy.
is that?
I'm losing my mind. And then as they like came to a stop, basically, like they were like slamming on their brakes. She was like, this thing has red glowing eyes. This is the lady that said it looked like it was a horse standing on its hind legs. Like it was like crooked. Like it was a horse standing on its hind legs. But
Ew.
it had, there was a statue. And she was like, this isn't it though. Like the horse, this makes it look too nice. It doesn't look nice. And I was like, what?
That's what?
She said it doesn't look nice. It's a lot harsher. And these, it was like hands basically with like claws coming out of the hands. She said no, its hands are claws. They're like talons, like an eagle, basically.
Like it just like goes from like the
arm wrist
to like
talons.
Ew. Okay.
Yeah, she's like, it's literally like Edward Scissorhands over here, basically.
Right.
Like,
right.
She was like, no, it's not like this at all. So she said they just sat there staring at each other for 2 minutes. And she said it was probably 2 minutes. She goes, but 2 minutes when you're that terrified and you're like, what am I seeing right now? I had heard stories of the Jersey Devil, but no one really believes it, like
right,
it's not real. And she goes, and couldn't believe her eyes, still processing. In that 2 minutes, it felt like 20 years basically.
Right.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then all of a sudden, it spread his wings and flew away. And she said, I remember saying, oh, thank you for not killing me. Because she was terrified. It had red glowing eyes, and it was just kind of snarling at her and staring at her.
And her friend was with her.
Flew away.
Or
Yeah, someone
whoever.
was with her. Someone was driving. She wasn't driving the car.
Okay.
Yeah. And so she said it just doesn't, she was dumbfounded. She was like, thank you for not killing me. Which again, that's crazy to me that people think it's going to kill them.
Right.
When it's literally never killed a person.
I would have looked at that thing and I would have like observed it and taken a picture, but then I would be like, I'm backing out. I'd be going.
Yeah, I'm going to leave.
I'm like, turn.
Yeah, she didn't think to take a picture of it, but this was like in the 60s
yeah,
that this happened.
You'd have to be carrying a camera.
Yeah, so it was like, that was in the 60s, and she heard somebody was going to be coming and talking, and we're going to talk about, and we don't really talk about his experience because he had like so many, and that would take too long.
Right.
But she went and she met with this guy. She saw him talking, and she was in second row because she said, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to talk to him about it. I'm going to tell him about my experience. And he was saying something, and she was like, has anyone here, he said, has anyone here seen the Jersey Devil? She was like, oh, these people are going to think I'm crazy. And she raised her hand, and then he, asked her to tell the story. And so she did, and she said you could hear a pin drop. Everybody was just, like, listening so intently, and I thought they were going to, like, throw tomatoes at me, basically. Right. And I was like, oh. So it's like people they are interested in it, right. But then also whenever someone's like, I saw the Jersey Devil, they're like, whatever. I have another little encounter for you that I thought was hilarious.
Hilarious? Okay.
Yes. So there's one Joseph Bonaparte.
Joseph Bonaparte.
He is brother of the one and only Napoleon Bonaparte.
No, he's not. Really?
He moved to America, to the Americas, and he has a house in Jersey.
Okay.
It's not in Philadelphia. It's somewhere near Philadelphia, but he stayed in Philadelphia when while he was waiting for his house to be built.
Okay.
And he was out one day. He was, in the woods, in the marshes. He was trying to do some hunting, passing some time, and he saw this creature, and he raised his gun to it. And once he raised his gun to it, it looked at him, spread its wings, and flew away.
Okay.
And he was like, what was that? And then they were like,
right.
That is the Jersey Devil.
He said, what
and
is
he
that?
said, I saw the Jersey Devil. And they were like, yeah. And I think that's
so who was there? Like, people were there with him and told him that? Or like when he explained it?
When he explained it, he was like, I'm losing my mind. I saw this.
Right.
They said, that's the Jersey Devil. And he was like, I almost shot it.
Right. Well,
like he raised his gun to it, and then it looked at him, and I guess that awe factor set in.
Whoa,
and he
what
was
is that?
Froze for a second, and then it flew away, and he was like, what the world?
Yeah, I mean, that's why people don't like shoot Bigfoot and stuff too. Yeah. It's just like you just get like, wait, what is this? And then,
you're just kind of like dumbfounded for a second.
Yeah.
You need a second to process.
This isn't a deer. This isn't a,
Yeah.
This isn't something trying to attack
Well, because
me.
you see something with a horse's head, claws, wings, horns, hooves. My throat gurgled. Throat's gurgling, and it screeches too. Like, that's part of the terror of it, is like it screeches.
And they see it screech.
They hear it screech. They can hear it screeching.
Right, of course.
Yeah.
But like when it's flying away, it does the screech, and they like see it and hear it screech.
I don't know if it does that. Or I think they hear the screeches
before or after. Like,
yeah,
okay.
and they know he's in the area, and that's like the warning.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it like something that they're hearing, and then like, but they don't actually like see the Jersey Devil when he's screeching? I'm just curious. So. Like, is that actually his sound, or are they hearing something else, or like?
I don't know.
He accompanies it. I guess
he accompanies the screech.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, I just thought it was funny that someone that prominent was like, I saw the Jersey Devil.
Right. He was like, what the heck?
Yo, I almost shot him.
What year would that be then?
I have no idea. I'm just
trying to think. Is he 1800s Napoleon?
I think
so.
Yeah. Sure.
So like it was a while back. Like
a while ago. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It goes over hundreds of years. So it's like, how is this thing still alive if it is the devil? If it is like the Jersey, if it's like a baby that was born, it would have died. Like,
right. Well, not if it was cursed though. Like,
that's true.
You know how like, like Cain was cursed or whatever, and like the theory goes like no one could kill him,
Cain, yeah,
or whatever. Mm-hmm. So maybe she cursed him in that way. He lives. He
just can't die.
He just can't die.
He's a demon now.
Right. Unless he like actually maybe got like killed, but no one's actually like shot him.
Yeah, they shot at him. He's been shot at, but not shot.
Right.
Because he can fly away.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that's part of it. So now we're going to get into some theories. Which is what I've been waiting for this whole time. It was so hard putting this towards the end because...
The exciting stuff?
I wanted to share the theories the whole time because you keep guessing stuff. And I'm like, wait, we're going to... Wait, hang on,
here's the
wait.
thing, like with the theory, like for me, it's like, it doesn't sound like anything that exists. That's the hard thing. Yeah. Like... Bigfoot, it's just some sort of ape that we don't know about, like primate. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Mothman, it's just like a flying bird or owl or something. But like this one is like, people are saying it freaking has like 2 legs, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what it could be. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you do. You have suggestions.
I have some suggestions.
Okay.
So don't look.
Don't look? Okay.
Don't look yet.
A peek.
So the theory is it is an African hammerhead bat.
Okay.
And the African hammerhead bats, you might be thinking, okay, well, what the heck? It's in Africa. How did it get here in the 1700s? My answer to that is it was brought over by cargo ships.
Well, yeah, that could happen.
Yes, and it happened all the time. And that's when the bats were brought over. Like, it's known that bats were brought over from the cargo ships.
Right.
In this area, in this time. And so the thought process is that when the Leeds had their 13th child and it was stillborn, or it was deformed at birth and then it died shortly after, that the Quakers, they were already known as monsters, so the Quakers made up this story. And because people, like, they're superstitious at this time.
Right.
There's a lot of superstition. It just kind of stuck and then just kind of took off.
Right.
Because the bats are in the area. They're screeching. And, I mean, we're going to get into diet later, but...
Do we know of these bats now living in the U.S.? Or, like, they died off, supposedly?
I don't know if they died off or not.
Okay.
But they do have a wingspan of 38 inches.
Oh, wow.
So they have a pretty hefty wingspan. Yeah. So you see that wingspan and you're going to think, that's large. Your mind is already going to, like, trick you. They make a high-pitched screeching sound when they are calling to another.
Okay.
There are multiple of them coming over on these, so it makes sense that they would be all over the place. That there would be sightings here and here and here and here because, hey, you know, like they've multiplied a little bit. The issue with the bat theory,
right,
is bats' diet. These particular bats' diets consist of fig leaves and fruit.
Okay, and that's not.
It's not really chickens. That doesn't explain why chickens are and farm animals and crops
or
and stuff are going
in the
missing.
Day.
Well,
that would be weird.
Would you like to see what the African hammerhead bat looks like?
Am I gonna be like, ew?
It looks like.
Oh my gosh! Sorry, I just totally blew out the.
It looks like it has a kangaroo's head.
It does. It looks like a horse.
It looks like a horse,
like a moose horse kangaroo.
And its legs, its feet are kind of tucked up in this picture.
Yes, it is.
But it does have legs. Here's another picture of like a baby one that's like darker than the other one.
How would they? So it could be that babies are getting in cargo ships because you said how big are their wingspans?
Their wingspans are 38 inches, and then there's another one that could look like a devil.
Looks like a devil.
That looks like the devil.
It has like elf ears.
Yeah. Which could be mistaken for horns at night. I mean, like, if they're pointed up,
for sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, I mean, when I looked up the picture, whenever someone said it was an African hammerhead bat, I was like, okay, what does that look like? And I was like, it looks like the drawing of the Jersey Devil.
It really, the head does.
The head does. Not necessarily the body, but like, again, how but if we're going to talk about this again, how many times have you been laying in your own bedroom? You know that there is a jacket on your chair and you know that that's what it is, but you turn out those lights and you open your eyes and you look.
That's a person.
Right there. And you're like, there's a person in my room.
100%.
Like, your mind plays tricks on you.
Or you open your eyes and you like blink and you see something, like a shape of something, and you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like, your mind will play tricks on you, especially if
you don't.
It's been ingrained in you since you were a child that there's a creature in the woods near your house. You know, like that.
And if you don't know what that is, like that, I didn't know that bats like that existed.
I had no idea a bat like that existed.
How do they? Do those just like chill?
I guess.
What part of Africa?
Africa? I don't know.
Like, is this like a common? Like they see them all the time? Or are they like?
I don't know.
Out in the caves, sort of thing.
Probably out
like,
in the caves.
Right. But like, do they come closer? Like,
well,
but here's the thing.
Probably, because that one was like tan, so it can camouflage itself.
Are there like, I mean, of course there are caves in the woods. I guess they wouldn't know about. Like, I wonder where they would be living. If they would just be living in the trees or if...
Well, it's also marshes too, so
that's
it's
true.
Cool
so it's
already.
Cool, so they can like adapt.
Yeah. So even if there's not a cave,
right.
You know, they could live in the area.
Yeah.
At least for a little bit.
But for 200 years...
They could procreate.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know, like they could be procreating.
Yeah.
You never know.
There's like a small.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that would explain why sometimes people think it's 6 feet. Sometimes people think it's 3 to 4 feet. Because if they're procreating, then there's going to be various ages.
Yeah.
of these bats, and some are going to be smaller, and it would make sense. Now, I don't think that the bats are 6 feet tall.
They are? Yeah, well, but if you don't know at night, and
but
you
again,
see the wingspan,
it's dark, and we just discussed how we wouldn't be able to tell.
No.
So it doesn't explain the chickens and like the animal stuff.
Yeah, because they don't.
What does explain the chickens and the animal stuff is that I looked at the predatory animals in New Jersey, in southern New Jersey specifically.
Okay.
And there are coyotes, which are infamous for killing chickens and getting into your chicken coops
or
and whatnot.
foxes.
Yeah. There are bobcats, which would explain any damages to anything. And there are also like raptors, like the bald eagles and the which would explain 1, the wingspan, 2, the talons.
Yeah. And also don't like coyotes and like what was that thing? Bobcats. They also screech.
They do.
They yell.
They do.
They make really, really scary noises.
They do.
If you at night you didn't know what it was, it would.
So it could be that these new animals were introduced that not a lot of people had seen before, and they didn't know that they were introduced. And so there's bats in the areas. They're screeching in the areas. The leads had a stillborn child, and they're trying to push the leads out, so they just made up a rumor.
Right.
Very well could be that. I'm so sorry. My little tablet keeps making noise.
Oh, was that what that was? I was like,
yeah.
what that was.
So it very well could be that. And like I said, that could be why no humans are harmed. Now, a bobcat, I feel like, would harm a human.
Right.
But if it's a coyote, it would make sense why it's only coming out at night to steal the chickens. You know?
But like the bobcat's also not just going to go out of its way to hurt a human. It would, you know,
if it's like threatened, you know, sure it will.
Do the bats wouldn't hurt people, would they? Like, unless it was an accident?
Yeah, unless they were like in danger.
I guess we don't. Yeah, I guess we don't know a lot about these bats. Do they have like the same sort of echolocation or whatever it's called? Like they can't see.
Yeah, they like screech.
Okay.
I don't know if they can't
hear the bats,
but they screech to like locate each other.
Right, like echolocation.
So it would make sense that, you know, like, and it's a very high pitch.
But can you hear it with the human ear?
Yes, you can.
You can.
Yes,
with these bats.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked up a video.
Oh.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna play it. It really wasn't that bad. It was just like very high pitched.
Right.
And it was like screech, screech,
like an
screech, screech. But like if multiple of them are doing that, it would sound really creepy.
Right. Well, I mean, like if you've heard the kiwi bird make a sound.
Oh yeah.
It like screams. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like they're just animals that make
animals
like freaky noises
at
night. Yeah.
That's what animals.
What if
don't
just,
even
like,
get me started on beavers, because let me tell you what.
They're not scary.
In southern New Jersey, a predatory animal, beavers, came up. And I said, I knew they were predators. I knew it. You should be scared of these beavers, everybody.
I think beavers are cute.
Beavers are terrifying. Their tails weigh like what, 5 pounds?
I thought they were nothing, because I thought they were going to be heavy. And they didn't weigh that much. But their like teeth continuously grow or something.
Yeah, their teeth never stop growing.
I don't know. I thought we looked it up because I thought their tail would be heavy, because it looks like it would be heavy. But it's like mostly air or something. Or maybe that was something else.
No, it's like a lot heavier than I thought it was supposed to be.
I thought it was the opposite, because I thought it was going to be heavy and it wasn't.
I don't know. All I know is we looked at beavers and they're terrifying.
They can be huge. That's the thing.
They're like massive. And they're supposedly really peaceful creatures.
Well, yeah, they're not going to go out of their way to hurt you.
Unless you're invading their area. Right. Then they're going to go after you. And their teeth never stop growing. And they're going to sink those chompers into your leg. And you're never going to be able to walk again. And that's just my theory on the matter.
Most adult beavers weigh 40 to 70 pounds. Now I'm seeing that their tail weighs 8 ounces. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. It was 8 ounces.
Which is
smaller than I thought it was. I remembered seeing something that was like, anyways, I don't know.
We're getting sidetracked. I'm sorry.
This is not about the beavers. All I'm saying is beavers came up as a predatory animal in New Jersey, in southern New Jersey.
Well, probably with other animals too. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I
told you they were predators. I told you they weren't all sweet and cuddly.
Ah, they're cute.
Whatever.
Have you ever seen Narnia? Mr. Beaver. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver.
Oh, yeah. I do remember that now. You needed to do the accent for me to get it. I was like, wait a second. Okay, so theory 2.
Okay.
Theory 2 is that it is a supernatural being.
Okay, well, that's always a theory.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
Such as a
diamond.
A diamond.
Right.
Especially because in 1939, the Jersey Devil was named the official state demon.
Wait. Does every state have an official demon?
No, it is their only demon, but
it's their only one, so therefore
official state demon.
This is our favorite child. It's the only child. This is our favorite demon. It's the only demon they have.
Their state mascot or whatever.
What the heck?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, they can't really call it a bird, I guess. It's our state bird, the Jersey Devil.
Yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, you can't do that. It's our state bat, just don't mind us.
The only state to have a state demon. Okay.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I know.
All right, okay.
It was officially named. It's like in their county, in their state records or whatever.
Okay.
So it's believed that it's not necessarily a human that has been around for hundreds of years. It's not necessarily this being that has been around, but rather a supernatural can come and go, whether it's through a portal or some people also believe that they have seen it shapeshift.
Why doesn't
into this creature?
Yeah. Why doesn't this demon? Why does it only stay in this area? Well, I know because
because it was born there.
Okay, so the demon was born there, so it just chills.
It was it's like it's like the lead point is where it was born. Sorry, I had to catch my breath there. Is where it was born, and then also it the area, the marshland around it is right near Leeds Point, so it makes sense that it would stay there because that's where. Right. That's where it grew up.
Right. Okay.
It's loyal.
I just feel like supernatural beings would go do whatever they wanted.
Well, but it does also go to Philly. Like I said, it's 1.1 million miles worth or acres worth of.
I guess it could be going anywhere, out in the wilderness, and people wouldn't be seeing it.
Yeah.
So,
and then they just see it occasionally. Yeah. So there's this father-son duo. They were Mike and Stefan.
Oh, Mike and Stefan.
And they have seen it multiple times.
Okay.
As well. And they went out looking for it kind of as a joke, ooh, let's go check it out. And then they were driving down a road, and there's an opening by the road, and then it's marshland, and then it's woods behind that. So they're driving, and they're well, we haven't seen it. So they go up to it they stop and they're like, man, nothing's here. Then they go to this little gas station area, turn around and come back. And then the dad's looking out to his left. And he said it's 2:30 in the afternoon. The first time they see it. Yeah. The first time they see it. He sees this thing in the field, in the marshes. It's not a field, it's a marsh. So there's water, basically. Right. For those of you who don't know what a marsh is, it's water. Not full. It's it's a field. It's you know how whenever you're walking into a river area, and then there's kind of grass and stuff kind of right before you get in. It's like that, but the entire field is just like that. And so he sees what looks like, because he's driving. He's going 30 to 40 miles an hour, according to him. Yeah, that's not bad. There's trees kind of in the way. He looks over to his left, and he's like, is that a camel?
A camel.
In the middle of the marsh? Is that a camel? And so then he kind of pulls off to the side, and then they go out, and then they see it, and it's not the camel. It is the Jersey Devil.
It's not camel.
And they take a picture on his Samsung Galaxy S9 or whatever. Nice. And they zoom in real close, and they take a picture of it, and they're the outline of this looks like the picture, you know what I'm talking about, the drawing of the Jersey Devil. It looks like it. And so they go out, and they're investigating multiple times, and they take a picture, and they see it's it transformed. It's the shape transforms. So he takes a picture, and then he takes another picture, and then he takes another picture, and you can see the progression of it transforming into the Jersey Devil. So they're oh, it's a shapeshifter.
Right.
They also believe, even if it's not a shapeshifter, they're something is up with it, because there was one time they were out. Well, okay, so it was Mike and Stefan, and then Mike's other son the first time, and then Mike and Stefan kind of did an investigation with it. The other son didn't do the investigation.
Right.
And so they're out, they're looking, and they keep going to the same spot, near the same location.
Right.
It's right by Leeds Point, which is where it was born. And so they keep going out, and it's important to note that, one, you can't go through the marshland to get to that, to prop something up. No. And two, they even went around to show you cannot get to this area to prop something up. Like, this area is basically inaccessible,
right,
to humans. Like, you can't get to this area. So it's not like someone could just go out there and prop something up and take a picture of it, basically. And so they did kind of prove that point. But they went back another time, and this was the time where they were like, this is not a creature. It's something paranormal. Ooh. Something supernatural.
Right.
Because they went out and they were looking, and then Stefan literally said it just went black. He couldn't see anything in front of him. Like, he could see nothing. And at the same exact time that happened to him, Mike was back at the car grabbing some stuff, and then Mike all of a sudden could not hear anything. Like, not even the ringing and like the bugs and stuff. He couldn't hear anything. Oh. And so then in an instant, they both like looked towards the road.
Right.
Well, actually, no. Stefan looked towards the road first, and he was calling to his dad, like, look at this, look at this, look at this. Because he was seeing the Jersey Devil just at the edge of a bend by like a telephone pole. Right. He like had stepped out behind the telephone pole, and he was like, oh my gosh. And like he could, like, he looked towards the road, and then he could see it again. And then he was like, oh my gosh. And then so he was calling to his dad, and his dad couldn't hear him. And then his dad turned around and looked towards the road where he was looking, and then he saw it, and then he could hear again.
What?
So it wasn't until they saw it that they could see and hear again.
Why would it do that?
I don't know. But then also, this is where it gets a little weird. It was December. It was the middle of December when this happened. So they had their coats and their jackets and whatnot. And then as they were watching him, like, kind of taunt them, basically.
Right.
He was basically taunting them. They got hot. Like, they were getting warmer and warmer and warmer. And so they were, like, taking off their jackets and like, coats and stuff because they were sweating. Because they said it had to have been probably 75 degrees.
Wow.
Out in the marshland, in the middle of the night.
Right.
In December.
In night too, yeah. In New Jersey.
In New Jersey. And so they were like, it was so weird. And then he was gone, and like everything went back to normal. We were like, grabbed our jackets. We were cold, you know, like it was. So that's when they were like, we don't think this is necessarily
an animal
or like a human that's been cursed. We think it's something supernatural. We were under a paranormal attack.
Oh my gosh. I wonder why it would like not let you hear until you saw it.
I don't know.
You think it would do it like when it saw it? Like, I wonder why. Or he wanted them to look at him.
I think it was he wanted them to look at it. I think he wanted to scare them in the instance because they kept coming back. They were investigating
him.
Yeah. They were trying to take pictures of him. And so I think that he wanted to scare them to be like, stop.
Yeah.
You know, like.
So the pictures that they took, are they out there?
Yeah. So I couldn't find them.
Oh.
I was watching it in like it was a really stupid. Sorry, it wasn't stupid. You did a great job. It was a documentary that looked like it was made by like first year film students.
Right.
So it was like shaky, but they were showing the pictures on camera. So it was kind of hard. Like they would zoom into the picture with the camera while someone was holding it.
Right.
It's kind of hard to see anyways. And I was like, I would be interested to see if they like actually
the picture,
like posted the picture anywhere, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Interesting. Okay.
I would have been showing it to you.
I know. That's why I'm like, I want to see this.
I know. But if I took a screenshot of
it would have been
of a picture
of a picture,
then you would not be able to see it. I was finding it hard to see anything until he had like the side by like the three in a row of it like shifting. I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about.
Is that the thing?
Yeah. So that was their experience.
Okay.
And that's
freaky.
Like that supports some people think it's a demon, basically.
Right.
And then there's theory 3, which is kind of like, oh, way to go.
Oh, way to go.
Theory 3 is that the Jersey Devil is the protector of the Pinelands. Or, not, if not a protector of the Pinelands, he's like a warning omen, basically.
Right. Okay.
So he doesn't harm the people.
Yeah.
That's something I've been saying the whole time.
He doesn't harm.
No person has been harmed. Sure, people have been scared, but they've not been harmed.
Yeah.
No one's been murdered by this thing. Nobody's been taken by this thing, you know?
Right.
And so it makes sense that he would just be protecting the area. And He's like, as long as you love the area and you're also taking care of the area,
Right.
he's not going to do anything to you. But so that could explain something. It's like, hey, they're trying to like come out
They're trying to
here, and so I'm going to scare them because
Right.
they're trying to
invade the
pinelands. So, homie, Paul Evans Peterson Jr. This is the man who dedicated his life, who said that
Right.
he was knocking on his cellar door.
Right.
He hadn't actually seen him in his face, but he had seen him multiple times. He had shot at him.
Right.
Dedicated his life to him, wrote books about him, goes and does talks about him. He claims
Okay.
that an influx of sightings of the Jersey Devil means that there is war coming.
Oh, he's like an omen.
He's like the omen.
Okay.
I'm going to go back with you for a second.
Okay.
In 1909,
Okay.
there was a week he was everywhere.
Right. I remember you
Everyone
said
saw
that.
him. So I did a little digging.
Oh.
In 1909, there was the Persian Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
There was a war between Spain and Morocco.
Wow.
And the United States, President of the United States, sent warships to Nicaragua to overthrow the elected president
Wow.
there. And that's the first time the U.S. has ever gotten involved in like overthrowing a leader.
Right.
An elected leader at
Right.
that. So there was war going on.
Right.
In 1909. And that's like in the week that everybody was seeing him.
Right.
And then after that, at least 3 wars happened.
Okay. Okay.
So that's the theory there, is that he's an
Right.
omen or a protector.
And they saw him all the time.
Yeah.
So there's
And
like,
and anytime,
he's like, hey, it's about to happen.
yeah, and I didn't catch the dates whenever he was talking about it, but he did say anytime there has been an influx of sightings, there has been a war.
I wonder what the settings
has
were before
happened.
like World War One and Two.
I know, that's what I'm like. I wonder if there was
an influx.
Yeah, because he didn't say the date, but then I remembered in 1909, I had read that he was popping up everywhere for like a week. There was a
Right.
week period that he popped up everywhere, and then he was gone. But didn't you also say that
Mothman. He's supposed
people
to be like
think
a
he's an omen
harbinger
too.
of doom or whatever, and like predicts
Yeah.
it. Like doesn't necessarily cause it, but like
But
the
he-
bridge
he knows it's
collapsing.
coming and he's trying to warn
he's trying to
people.
warn you.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's doing.
So that's like, yeah.
Maybe he's a protector in general, like an ancient protector of
That's
the
what I feel like.
land, and he's like, okay, wars are happening, but also I'm also protecting this land, so you need to get out of here,
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Or maybe he knows there's a predator in the area and
yeah,
he's trying
he's
to
like-
scare you off. Like,
Yeah.
get out of here, go.
Like there are predators.
Or also, it could be if he is a protector, if he goes and he's like right by you, then that whatever's going to come, whatever predator is in the area isn't going to come near him.
Yeah, it like scares him off.
He scares them off.
Maybe that's why they felt that. Maybe he was actually like scaring an animal off.
Maybe.
Like with those, like so that they couldn't hear the humans either or something.
Yeah.
Like it was like sending out.
It was like sending out a frequency or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which people have also reported like Bigfoot frequencies, like sending out
Yeah.
stuff that like you can
Like
feel
how-
in your
yeah.
body and stuff.
And like with the cameras and stuff,
Yeah.
how all of a
It,
sudden
like,
your
you can't
camera
see
is
it.
like really grainy and like it's
And
poor
aliens
quality.
too do that as well, right? Like-
Aliens also do that. So basically,
Yes.
I'm honestly surprised that none of the theories said Jersey Devil is an alien.
I know. But, I mean, we've had that. I mean, it could always be an alien because you don't know if aliens can, one, shapeshift, or two, look like anything
Right.
that you've ever, like, that you've not seen. Like, they could just be all these different types of creatures
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or, like, three, they can, I don't know, like, I guess shapeshift into whatever. I know,
Yeah.
I think I already said that. But
You did.
But I said that twice.
You did. It's okay. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't say alien.
Yeah. I'm also surprised the Jersey Devil is such a big thing and yet like not harming humans. That's bizarre to me.
Well, but Mothman didn't harm anyone either.
Yeah, like that's
And-
also bizarre to me.
Sasquatch, Bigfoot has been reported to like throw things at people, but no one has
But
ever
that's
been
just like, get out of my swamp.
right. But no one has
You
ever
know?
been like what physically attacked, have they?
I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because they're always like, get away from me, but
I think I like the protector theory. That's why I put
Yeah.
that one last because I was like, well, let's end on a high note.
maybe all cryptids are just protectors.
Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe. Yeah, because
yeah, 'cause
there's
they don't-
not really any cryptid that we've done that's harmed people.
Yeah. Well, because if they're harming people, then there would have been a very close up experience.
Yeah.
They would have been like, they cut me, they did this. Like, that
Yeah.
would have been like very... So you would have seen it and felt it.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, no one has with cryptids. Really.
No.
At least that we know of. Unless you know.
I mean, mermaids aren't people.
Right. But have the attacked people reported, or was it just other people?
They haven't attacked people, but they've lured them to their deaths.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I was wrapping my brain around.
You're like, wait, hold on.
Is there one that's harmed people?
There might have been. We might have missed it. But if you know of cryptids that have hurt people,
even ones that we've covered that we didn't hear about. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think that they're usually evasive.
Yeah.
As far as I know. But
he's just trying to live his life in the woods. He's like, leave me alone.
Yeah. That
Stop
bat,
trying to
though.
take pictures of me.
What's that bat called? You guys go look up.
Yeah, everybody look up the African hammerhead bat, because
you will be...
homie looks like a kangaroo.
Your life will be changed.
There's some pictures where it literally does look like a devil.
It does.
And even there's some illustrations, because the one picture had like greenish yellowish eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's some
Had
illustrations.
that weird nose, too.
Yeah. Well, there's some illustrations of the Jersey Devil that like newspapers have done where it has greenish yellow eyes.
Even though they said they had red eyes.
Even though, but now it has red eyes. But
Right.
you know, like it changes over the years, word of mouth, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right.
All right. Well,
that is... It's a creepy looking bat. You need to look it up.
you do. And then you need to tell us if you have ever seen this bat and know where it lives.
Yeah. But I mean, I've been to New Jersey once, but I didn't see it. But if you live near New Jersey...
You live near New Jersey and you know that there are African hammerhead bats in the area, let us know.
Right.
You can reach us at lattespodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram and Facebook at Lattes on My Mind.
Right.
And then we're also, as always, on Spotify, YouTube, Apple, Amazon, Audible, all the things.
And we always appreciate the interaction with the polls that we post.
Yes.
And they're always fun.
Yeah. You can feel free to follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Please. We're always open to ideas. Give us more cryptids. Give us more.
Yes, please.
Creepy animals.
Give us some spooky tales.
And if your state actually has a a demon.
An official state demon, please tell us. I want to research that.
You need to get out of that state.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's not good.
Don't have a
state demon.
Don't encourage it.
Yeah, that's not good.